by and large, the black community is way too flippant about homophobia. And honestly, I think we perpetuate cycles of homophobia. And it's just expected to be homophobic in our communities. And with our obvious history of discrimination, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to be so discriminatory towards other groups. And I want to start with how we communicate our disdain for the gay community with specifically black women on social media. What really started this for me was actually the dude that made the males baddies video, if anybody knows what I'm talking about. I don't know that I actually agree with what he said, but when I was reading the comments, they were just flooded with homophobia, and no matter what he said, there's no justification for that from both sides, both men and women. The comments were full of women saying this word, which I'm not even going to say because it feels like a slur, or women putting images of rainbows with the caption reading, "Be who you are." The implication obviously being that, okay, when you actually show what you are, you don't need to be around me. And I think black women get the reputation as being more accepting than black men because it's more common to see a gay man in a full group of women than it is to see a gay man or a gay woman, to be honest, in a full group of straight men. And I think that's probably true. They probably are more accepting, but that grace goes out the window when it's a straight man who they might perceive as gay, or a straight man who may be battling with their sexuality. They may be wondering, okay, am I gay? And they're considering it. That grace entirely goes out the window. Instead, it's now funny to make jokes at their expense or make up allegations claiming that they're DL or any sorts of thing. And I think it comes back to a deep-rooted insecurity of not being desired. As a straight woman, if there's attention that you want from men and you're not getting it, it's easy to say that, oh, this man must be DL, or he must be insecure in his sexuality. He must be hiding a part of him, and that's why he doesn't want me, as opposed to just accepting that maybe there's something you aren't doing. An easy cop-out answer, to give a bit of relief is to just say, oh, they're conscious of their, sexual health. As a man, if a man is DL and is pretending, and let's say he has sex with me, he has sex with a man, that could be unsafe. That could lead to STDs. But when you see comment sections like this, which are pretty much just flooded with hate speech, cloaked as jokes, I think that it's more common to just see all those people in there. They're just following trends and making jokes than really being concerned about their sexual health. This is obviously just a way to say the F word by not saying it. And this is supposed to be the group of people who is more accepting towards these sorts of things. The obvious implication is I don't want this person around me because they are different, because they are gay. And this is not about all black women. I'm going to make a separate video about black men because both of these issues need to be addressed. I don't want to just bash black women. And I think at the highest level of consciousness, black women are more conscious about these sorts of issues, and that's great. But if you view yourself as an ally and you are a black woman and you find yourself doing this, or a woman in general, and you find yourself doing the sorts of things that I said in this video, I think you probably need to address your own insecurities and not judge others. And yes, if you're making jokes about a gay man or gay woman's sexual experience and how it differentiates from each other and you find that funny, yes, that's also homophobic. We need to break away from these cycles of discrimination. It's been way too long. Black men and black women showcase their homophobia in different ways. Someone mentioned the way that black men are more often do it in person, whereas black women more often do it online. And I definitely agree with that. I can say that I've seen a much more concerted effort by black men to exclude someone from being gay in their circles than I have seen from women. But on social media, I think a lot of men in general showcase their homophobia through an almighty upholding of traditional values, really aligning with women in order to confirm their masculinity. The video I cited in my last video, the man baddies video, though it has a ton of women in the comments flooding it with homophobia, there are just as many men duetting the video, saying how he's weird and who's going to be the boys, and this sort of rhetoric that sort of diminishes him as his opinions are just that of a gay man, right? It really establishes themselves, the people that make these videos, as the more masculine person in this masculine hierarchy. Therefore, as a woman, wouldn't you want this more masculine guy than this gay guy who makes videos about male baddies? It's all a hierarchical thing. One thing I find so interesting about these traditional values is that the most homophobic man you know probably has his ears pierced. But if you were to show him a male body with piercings in any other part other than the ear, or a man that painted his fingernails, he would immediately look at that person as if he was gay, and he would look at them like the dude in my profile picture. And they would probably tell you that getting their ears pierced is just different, right? It's just normal. No, the only difference between these two activities is that one of them has been normalized. The same thing with wearing a bonnet. All three of these things were considered quote unquote girl activities, things that only girls do, and men that do it are gay. But we got to a place of consciousness where we understand that it's not that deep for men to pierce their ears, and it's not that deep for men to wear bonnets and protect their hair. And eventually we probably will get to that same place with painting your nails. Maybe men just like to have their nails painted. But we view everything in black men circles, we view everything foreign as gay. Anything alien is gay, and gay must automatically mean bad. Look at TikTok. If you use TikTok in 2019, you were considered gay. Now everybody uses it. It's weird to not use TikTok. We are just in a perpetual state of being behind and being ignorant. We see anything that a man does that's like different or kind of girly or whatever as sweet or sissy. And once again, that's just a way to say the F slur by not saying it. But it's not the 1900s anymore. We don't have to be defined by these traditional values that our parents pushed onto us. And younger kids that hear this sort of younger men that hear this sort of stuff grow up with this hate towards something that they can't even fathom until they're older. They just view gay as being bad. They don't even know what it is until they're older. It's just silly, and I would think that we will be at a point where we could just let people be who they are, but it seems we have more healing that we need to do. Historically, our community has benefited the most from having allies. A lot of moving and shaking has come as a result of having people on the inside who recognized that there was a need for change. And so I would just assume that our people would understand what it means to be allies for other people that are still, fighting their struggle as well. Not that we're past our struggle. Not at all. We're still struggling. But for other people who are also struggling, we need to be allies as well. But we still can't. And also, if you're a straight man that quote unquote makes gay jokes and they think they're funny, they're not funny. You don't need to LARP as a homosexual just to show that your affection for your friends. You can just be affectionate for your friends. It's homophobic and it's just stupid.